and welcome to another video of Power App today. So in today's video, we'll be seeing how can we create our own home loan EMI calculator using the Power Apps. This will be a very basic video where we will be designing all these controls like loan amount, the edit field, the slider, and we will be also creating this pie chart, right? So quickly, let's get started. So this is my home screen of Power App, right? So I'll go with my new app and I will take a blank app, right? So meanwhile, this is creating. If you see here, I have three main components in here. One is this loan amount, second one is this edit field, right? And third one is this slider, right? So in my Power App, okay, so what I'll do is I'll just quickly change the color of my app. I'll just take it blue, maybe lighter blue would work, right? Now in here, I'll insert a text label, or you can call a header, which will mention the loan amount. Before proceeding, I'll just turn on my modern controls and themes, right? So I'll go and turn this on, right, and click close. Okay, now the first thing is I will just have my text label. Basically, the main difference between a label and text is basically label works as a label, or you can say it works as a header, right? So what I'll do is I'll say loan amount, so it will show me the kind of heading, right? So you can just change the font size, let's say 20, right, and make it a bit bigger. Right now, I'll insert a text input. So the difference between text input and label is label show you the heading, and input takes the input from the user. Right, so this and this, I'll make them both a bit wider. Yeah, right. So these two are ready. Now I will take a slider. I'll take all the controls of classic. Right, so I'll just take it till here, right? And in this portion, I'll create my pie chart, right? Okay, this is fine, right? So our three things are ready, which is our label, text input, and our slider. Now, in this slider, if you see, if I just play this app, right? If you see in this slider, this is the minimum value is 0 and maximum is going up all the way to 100, right? So I'll just click close, and you don't have to every time play. To preview the app, you can just click and hold alt key. So I'm currently holding the alt key, and now I can move this. The moment I release alt key, this edit mode will be enabled, right? So if you are new to the Power App, this is how you can move away with the edit mode, right? So there are more properties of this slider. Here you can see the minimum and maximum values, right, the default value, and here there are more properties of the colors and all of these slider, right? So if you go into this home loan calculator, you see the minimum value is 1 lakh and maximum is 10 crores. And here if you see in tenure, you have minimum value is 1 and maximum is 30, and in interest rate you have minimum is 0.5 and then it goes up to 15, right? So what I'll do is in here I'll say that minimum value is 1 lakh, right, and maximum is 10 crores. So I'll just copy this value and I'll paste it here, right? The moment I paste it and I'll play the app, right? So if you see here, now my value from 0 to 100 is being changed to 1 lakh to 10 crores, right? So I'll close this. Okay, so this has been done. Now I have my default value. What I'll do in default is 50. What says 50 basically is not available in this slider only. So what I'll do is I'll simply write a formula self dot minimum, right? So always it will be at here, or you can say that self dot maximum and then divided by 2 dot maximum and then divided by 2, right? So it will be, the default will always be in the middle, so you can play with these formulas and all, right? Now what I'll do is I'll just copy these three controls of amount and paste them, control C, control V, and I'll take it here, right? I will rename the amount, this amount, to tenure, right? And this slider, what I'll do is 1, and then I'll make it to 30, right? And by default it will be moved to the middle, right? I'll copy this again and control C, control V, and move it to here. And this tenure, I'll say that this is my interest rate, right? And this I'll say is 1 to 15. You can say 0.5 to 15, that will also work, right? So this is my skeleton for my home app is almost ready, right? So now what I have done is I have renamed all my text inputs here, right? And now if you go into this home loan app here, and if you see, this is being changing, right? If you see, the moment I move this slider, this is being changing. Similarly for this also, and similarly for this also. So how can we achieve this in here is simply I'll go to my default value here and I'll say that my amount slider dot value, right? And then here in the default I'll say that my tenure slider dot value, right? And similarly in here I'll say my interest slider dot value, right? So the moment I do this and I play this app and see the moment, see this is being moving, right? I'll just click save. Now this is being done. There are some properties of this slider that you can play with. For example, if I go in here, right, you can change the rail size. See, this has been increased, so I'll do it for all, right? So see, I'll do it 5, right? And then we can also change the color. So what I'll do is for the uh, loan amount, I will change this to red, okay? And then for this I'll change it to maybe say yellow, okay? Similarly for tenure, I'll change this to green, right? And this I'll change this to yellow. And then for this I will have I can have the custom colors also, right? So maybe in the greener side I'll take this, right? And then for this I'll take a maybe orange, right? So this is how you can play with the colors of this property. You can also increase or decrease the size of your handle, right? So here we have 30. If you do 35, your handle size will increase. You can also play with the border of your handle. So these are all the properties that you can play with, right? So this is our half. This is done. Now what we need to do is calculate our monthly EMI. So in order to calculate monthly EMI, we have a formula. So when you are in school, you must have checked that in order to calculate the principal amount, we have a formula, or in order to calculate the amount, we have a formula PRT upon 100, right? So formula in here is also similar. uh, we just have to apply a formula on click of a button. So in home loan app, if you see, there is no button. You move slider and your EMI will get changed. Here also we will apply the same logic. Initially we will have a button to calculate the EMI, and then later on we will remove that button. So I'll take a button here, right? So I'll take this button and I'll name this calculate EMI. And in order to show the EMI, I'll take a text. You can take a text label to display your text. I'll take a text input, right? You can take any of the text as you like. So I'll take this, right? Increase this size and move this button in here, right? So what I'll do is on the calculate EMI button, I will write a formula. Now we can take help of chat GPT to write the formula, right? So what we will do is we'll ask GPT on how to write a formula for our home loan EMI. We will also ask GPT to calculate the total interest, right? And so that it will help us create the pie chart. Okay. Okay, so I have given a prompt to the GPT, write a formula to use in Power App to calculate monthly EMI. I have told it that my tenure is in years, right? So it has written me a very nice formula here. I'll just copy this formula and go to my button on select option, and I'll remove this and I'll paste my formula, right? So now if you see, I have my formula pasted. Now in place of loan amount, I'll be replacing the variables that I have, right? So what I'll do is in place of loan amount, I'll write loan amount dot text, right? And then in interest rate, I'll write interest input dot text. Similarly in here, in place of interest rate, I'll write interest input dot text. For tenure, I'll write just tenure input dot text, right? And in here also I'll write interest input dot text, and here also I'll write tenure input dot text, right? So my formula has been written. There is some error. It is because we do not write set variable like this in Power Apps. I'll just remove this and I'll use set. Set is the keyword to set the variable name. So set, and then EMI is my variable name, and then a comma, right? So my this has been set, and I'll close the parenthesis and I'll save this. Now my monthly EMI is being saved in this. What I'll do is I'll go into my text input, remove the default value and write EMI, right? And now once I save and play my app and click on calculate EMI, see my EMI is being calculated, right? So for these parameters, my EMI is coming out to be 1, 2, 3, and so on. If I go in here and calculate, see it is being changed. If I come here and calculate, this is being changed. See, this has been working perfectly fine. Although if I change it here also and calculate, see, this is being changed. So I have applied my basic formula in the on select variable, right? In order to verify, you can just play with the home loan calculator available online and see if your formula is working fine or not. Okay, now this has been done. What I'll do is I will also have my total interest calculated, right? Total interest amount. So I'll ask same to my GPT. So I'll go here, write me a formula to calculate total interest paid, right? I'll use it again and say bear in mind I have my tenure in yes, right? So it has given me a nice formula. See, here's my formula. I'll just copy this again, go into my this, and I will just use a semicolon here to use multiple expression and paste it here, right? So here I have my this, and here I'll use my tenor input dot text, and here my amount input dot text, right? And then here I'll remove this and say set my interest paid to this and close parenthesis, right? And I'll click save. What I'll do is I'll use one more text input here, and I'll change the default to interest paid variable. See, the moment I click calculate, my interest is also being now calculated, right? I'll click save and see. Okay, now this is fine, right? So now the last thing left is to create a pie chart. So in order to take a pie chart, very simple, I'll just go and insert a pie chart here, right? Okay, so this is being inserted. I'll just move my pie chart here, and for now I will just delete this legend, right? Although this is kind of important, but for now let's just remove this pie chart. So now why I only have a pie chart. Now if you see, it has some sample data, right? So if you go into the items property of this pie chart, we have a sample data, and this is actually a table, right? Area, city, density, population. It has 4 columns available, right? And then if you go into the advanced section, here if you see, there are two things that it takes as an input. One is the city, it is showing 4 columns, and other one is this mm, I think series. This is right. So what it will do is it will also take the value. So basically it compares two things, right? If I select here area and city, it will compare area and city. All right, so where is my this is here advance. If I select density and if I select population, see, it will show me different things. For city it is not showing because I think city does not have numbers, right? Yes, this is why it is not showing. So for labels we can take city, and then in here we can take area, or we can take density, or we can take population, right? So basically label is the labels what we want to show, and basically uh, this serials or the values is basically the values we want to show in the pie chart, right? So in for this the for pie chart to show, we require minimum two values, right? So in our case, two minimum values we have is, first is our interest paid, and second is our loan amount, right? So what I'll do is, for this I'll just rename this to my EMI, and this to, okay, I'll just give it EMI as text, this to EMI button, and this to my interest shown. Okay, fine. Fine. Now, for this, I'll just round this off. Okay, or I can just round this EMI also. So what I'll do is, I'll go here and I'll say round EMI and then comma to 0. Right. Similarly, here I'll say round interest paid and then to 0. Right. So this will be more of a clear. Now on the calculate EMI button, what I'm going to do is I will be creating a collection. Basically, if you see here in the pie chart, we have a table, so I'll be creating a table, right? So what I'll do is I'll create a collection. So in order to create collection, we have a clear collect, and then I'll go with I'll take a name for my pie chart, which is pie chart data. I'll say now I will have two things, right? One is the interest paid, right, and second one is the total interest, sorry, total amount. So for first I'll take a label, right? So I'll take a label, and in label I'll say total amount. Okay, or you can say total loan amount, or you can say total principal amount, right? And then its value would be, I'll say value, and then this, and my total amount value, if you see here, is in amount input dot text. Right now, similarly, I'll copy this whole here and paste it in my second. Now in the second label, I'll have my interest paid, right? And then here I have my this value, which is interest shown dot text, right? So I'll click save, and in here what I'll do is I'll remove this pie chart, and I'll say pie chart data, right? I'll just click save, and in here I have my automatically selected value. I'll just click play and calculate EMI. See, the moment I do this, my total amount is visible and my total interest paid is visible, right? So what I'll do is, here if I change my tenure to, let's say, let me change this to 30 lakhs, right? And let me change the tenure to 15 years and interest rate to, let's say, 8.5, and I'll click calculate. See, my interest paid and total amount is being shown nicely. Now in order to change the colors of this data, right, I'll go to the colors option, item color set. See, it has many color sets. So first one is this. Now it has taken the first and the second one by default, right? If it has more, it will take more of a colors, right? So if you see we have many color option. See, right, right, right. So what I'll do is I'll take this blue color, right, and I will paste it here. Okay, and then what I'll do is I will take this color, right, and I will paste it here, and I'll click save. See, this is also looking very nice. There are more properties of this. What you can do is uh, in here what you can do is in the labels also, let's say that in place of total amount, right, you also want to show this how much EMI is being paid, or how much interest is being paid. You can just use a concatenate formula, right, to show that also to the user, right? So this is being almost done. This app is almost done. The last thing left is to remove this button and to change this pie chart basis on this, right? So this is the last thing left, right? So let's complete that thing also. Quickly remove this button. So what I'll do is I will just copy all these values, and I'll go to this text, and here I'll go to on change, right? So already this slider is already connected to my this text box. So on this text box what I'll do is I'll just paste all my formula here, right? Similarly on the tenure I'll change my formula, and similarly on the interest rate I'll go into on change, right, and I'll just save. Okay, and now so if I go to 9, right, see it is automatically being changed. On 11 it is automatically being changed. Now this is done. Now the last thing is on the slider part. What I'll do is on change I'll do this. Similarly on this slider on change I'll do this, and on the interest rate on change, or you can select on select also. I'll just click save and run. So now if you see, now I've selected this, and if I move this, see this is being moved with just arrow buttons, see. And similarly on the interest rate it will change, right? So this is how you can change your interest rate, right? Now I'll just minimize this, and finally I'll do some formatting. So I will just increase the font size here, right, and for here also I'll increase this font size, right, and for this also I will just increase the size of my pie chart, right, and Font size I'll do 15 so that it will be more visible, right? This is fine. And final thing is I can do some formatting here also, or in here also. So how I can do is I'll just remove this round formula from here, and I will write monthly EMI, right? And then concatenate function ampersand, and then my txt, and the same formula which is round, and my EMI and 0, right? And then text, format text. So here we have some format like this, and then in the I'll choose Indian, see here, and close. Right now if you see, my values are coming in this format. So what I'll do is I'll just say monthly EMI dash, and here if I use dollar sign, it will show me the rupees sign because I have used Indian uh, notation, right? The similar formula I will apply here. In place of EMI, I will write interest paid, right? And here I'll write interest. Due to this, I think our chart might not work properly because we are taking the value directly from here. So what I'll do is mm, I will here I will just I can use a formula like this. Okay, let's do one thing. I'll just remove this all and keep it simple like this. Okay, and what I'll do is in order to so I'll just disable this first. What I'll do is on the visible section I'll make it false, right? So my button is now disabled, and I can just increase this size and move it here. You can change the color also. So currently color is white, let's say this, and for interest let's say this, or for the interest paid let's do the same color. I'll choose this color, colors from color set. So this color is this one. So what I'll do is I will copy these both colors, go here, and in the color I will choose my pink color, right? See, and then in my loan amount on the color section here I'll use this one. Okay, see, I can also change the fill section. Okay, fill is here. I'll change this fill, and then in color I'll simply choose black. Okay, and in here also I'll choose black as font, right? And in the fill section I'll choose this one. See, now it looks more good. We can change this also. What I can do is I'll just make a copy of this, right? And I'll move it here. And for this I can just copy this formula from the default. Here I'll say this, and I'll say interest paid, right? I'll say here as interest, right? And I'll make it a bit bigger. This I can just hide this, right? I'll just click save and run. See, so now if I move my this, uh, my pie chart is being moved. If I move this, see, my values are being moved, right? See, my EMI are going to change once I move these sliders, right? See, so this is how we can create our own screen or own EMI calculator app. For more things, you can choose your images also. For example, mm, maybe this image. Okay, see, it is looking very nice now. So this is how you can prepare your own app, right? This is at very basic level what I have shown you. So if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe and share. Till then, bye, see you in the next video.